how do I believe we should measure culture moving forward? We have been since the 90s measuring employee engagement. And what you get is this number, a metric, a percentage of engagement. I don't think that's super valuable.
This is CEO Daily Brief with Dr. Jessica Kriegel, the 5-minute daily podcast where business pragmatism meets inner wisdom.
Welcome to another episode of the CEO Daily Brief. I'm Jessica Kriegel, and today we're going to talk about how to measure culture. So let me take you back, way back to the 1980s, when we used to measure culture back in the 80s. Now, when I say we, I mean people older than me because I was born in the 80s. But when we used to measure culture, we used to measure job satisfaction. We would ask employees if they were happy in their job, and they would say yes, no, maybe so. And that was the measure of culture. Are people happy here? That was the way we did it for many, many years. And that was perfectly fine as it was. Then in the 1990s, something happened. A bunch of management consultants came up with the idea of employee engagement. And they came up with this idea as a way to sell consulting to executives because they said, rather than just being happy, what you want is employees that are engaged. Now, what is engagement? Engaged, if you look up the definition of the word engagement, it is the extent to which someone is focused on the task at hand. You don't want just to be happy. You want them to be focused on the task at hand, which is engaged with the work. And so employee engagement, if that's higher, theoretically people are happier, and also people are definitely more productive. And executives were told by these management consultants in the 90s that the key to driving success through talent was employee engagement. So everyone jumped on the employee engagement bandwagon, and they've been there ever since. I believe that employee engagement is now dying a slow death. I've actually believed this for a while. I published an ebook on this with Culture Partners years ago called Employee Engagement is Dead. And I've done numerous webinars on the topic. Employees are starting to feel like cogs in a wheel. They're starting to feel like productivity tools. And that engagement focus is part of the problem because we're so focused on the extent to which employees are focused on the task at hand. And being focused on the task at hand is one thing, but being fulfilled by that task, being motivated by the purpose of the task is a completely different issue. So, how do I believe we should measure culture moving forward? We have been since the 90s measuring employee engagement. And what you get is this number, a metric, a percentage of engagement, which is usually for most organizations somewhere between 70 to 80% engaged. According to Gallup, the national average is much, much lower and dropping, but I've never seen an employer report that. So usually people will say, we got an employee engagement score of 75%. That's theoretically good. You want to move the needle up or down by a percentage point here or there year over year. You see this sort of trend analysis. I don't think that's super valuable. I don't know how much you are learning from that employee engagement number. So here's my offer. The new measurement of culture is your results. If you are achieving the results that you set out to achieve, then your culture is working because results come from actions. Actions come from the beliefs that people hold. The beliefs people hold come from the experiences that they've had. And culture is how people think and act. Those experiences shaping beliefs, driving actions is how they think and act. So if how people think and act is working for your organization, then you're achieving your results because you are in perfect alignment of how people think and act to get results. If you're not achieving the results that you said to achieve, that means that the culture, the way people think and act, is not working, and your culture needs work. If you think of culture that way, the importance of culture becomes so obvious because tell me one CEO on the planet who isn't interested in how their employees think and act. That is the holy grail of business leadership, is being able to shift and change, activate change in how people think and act. We have a new strategy. We have to adapt to a new environment. We have new competitive landscape. We need to think and act differently. That is the whole purpose of leadership today, is to create movement in how people think and act. And so I believe culture should be measured by results. And if you're not achieving the results that you hope to achieve, it's because your culture needs work. What do you think about this new measurement of culture, tying it exactly to results? Not employee engagement, not job satisfaction, but really fulfillment of your employees and the goals that the organization has for itself. Let me know what you think. This has been another episode of the CEO Daily Brief.
Thank you for listening to CEO Daily Brief with Dr. Jessica Kriegel. Connect with Jessica on LinkedIn if you want to share your thoughts on today's show or suggest a topic for a future episode.